Hey, it's me, Big P, and I wanted to go over the plans for the upcoming, what is it, 3.19 Lake of Kalandra League. And I'm going for a little mix of like trying something new, but an old standby skill that I'm comfortable with starting. We're doing Crackling Lance Trickster. Trickster, I think, is hotly debated right now. Is it OP? Is it trash? Is it overrated? Is this a sleeper hit? Is this a sleeper hit? I'm kind of going. I'm the type of person who just needs to find these sorts of things out for myself. So I'm going to roll this with a spell that I'm kind of familiar with, Crackling Lance. I know how to scale it. I know that it's got great numbers on the gem and can pair really nicely with Orb of Storms. And you put those two together, you got a pretty solid league starter. This one's probably going to be more focused on a mapper, I would say, overall. Evasion characters generally, I'd say, aren't amazing at bossing compared to like the big tanky stuff on the left side of the tree. Like when I did this as an Inquisitor, you can go check that video. It's a couple leagues back now, and maybe a year plus. But Crackling Lance, whenever it launched, I played with it, and people said it was really bad. But like I'd killed Cyrus pretty easily in one weekend, so I didn't really see that there. And yeah, so I'm just gonna apply that to Trickster to see how all the changes are, and I'll go over some choices, what we do defensively and offensively. Funnily enough, Trickster is actually really more of a defensive ascendancy right now. I guess we'll just talk about that real quick because, I mean, that's a hot button issue, and that's probably what'll keep people watching the video. Anything, not to really call it an issue though. It's more like an issue of too many options. One step ahead, I feel like. Even late game, you're not gonna want to you're gonna pick this first, and then you're never going to not pick it. Like this is the Trickster Ascendancy to me right now. That enough. Like you can make me pick this 4 times and I would still pick this Ascendancy. Um, but yeah, I'm actually kind of just going for just relying on Escape Artist, Spellbreaker, and Soul Drinker to just give a little just generic oomph around with Soul Drinker being very good for our build. It seems great in a lot of builds, but it's particularly great in a build where cast speed is so important. 20% cast speed is just too juicy to give up, especially because it will virtually always be up. And then I'm not really sure about, I don't not too comfortable with like Leech and then like maybe going into Ghost Reaver instead because this build is going to be hybrid defensively. It's not fantastic. It's kind of leaning into the fact that they put spell suppression more heavily on the tree, and I'm kind of like really lazy in terms of gearing. Where else did I go for it? I mean, I guess you get some here, you get 10 here, and you can go for here for instinct. But yeah, with Spellbreaker, that just kind of helps ease into that. I think I would only get this after the Uber Lab once you really need to start getting into farming reds because the 1, 2, 3 here will probably feel really nice. You're going to want Leech and increased cast speed while in maps. It's just going to make the whole process that much better. Because I know what it's like to cast Crackling Lance without a lot of cast speed. It's not too fun. Furthermore, the tree, reservation stuff is kind of weird, but we do go for both of them. I'm not really sure. We'll talk about the skills, what we're going to get away with in terms of reservation. But yeah, we're going to go for Ghost Dance because that used to be part of Trickster. We're going to Chaos Res, I imagine, will be important on this build, so we are going to go for this. We do have the option of going low life, maybe, but that comes way later with gear after I've bricked a couple bosses. And like, this build sucks. I need to inflate my POB numbers by 30% real quick. And yeah, for a build like this, obviously it goes without saying, the crit comes last in the leveling, so you just drop that. And then you have about a level like 80 something tree. That would be Elemental Overload. Leveling the tree, probably just yoink right up here, go across to get Crackling Speed and Elemental Overload. This would be the lightning damage with non-crit is lucky because that's a really good skill while you're leveling. Keep it like that, and then you just fill in the rest. Things like spell suppress aren't really going to be important, I think, till later. I am a soft core Andy, so I'll probably just be focusing on whatever's speed, and the crit comes later as well. But we are taking this new section here, increase crit against shocked enemies. We're going to have to see conditionally what we can get away with in terms of crit. We might need to get another power charge. I think we will have both power, maybe frenzy charges on the build too. Unfortunately, Trickster kind of lost like super easy generation of my favorite 2 charges, power and frenzy. So It's kind of unfortunate, but let's get into the skill because I still think Trickster is awesome. It's gonna be super fun to play. So Crackling Lance is paired with Orb of Storms because it procs when you cast, and it has a cooldown, an internal cooldown that I don't think, but they're sister skills. This worked fantastically the last time I played this build, and if we can get like plus lightning gem levels all over the place, this is just like a double whammy, like go look at the lightning damage rolls on lightning damage spells as they go from like level 21, 22, 23. Salivate a little. On that note, we're adding flat lightning. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do cold conversion. I usually do it with just an early call of the Brotherhood, but like uniques are being completely reworked and retooled and stuff, so it's like I'm not sure how easy that's going to be. So I'm planning right now just for pure lightning damage, and we're just going to scale that. So that's why we'd go for lightning pen instead of like something fancier. I personally don't like spell echo, just overall, especially with skills that have intensify. I don't know. I think I just maybe it'll feel better this time, but I felt really bad like having like a weird sort of startup to your lance doing full damage. But either way, you're definitely going to probably need these 2 crit gems being inspiration, increased crit strikes, inspiration pulling double duty, because I feel like, I'm not going to lie, you are going to hit a point where you're casting more mana than you're regenerating. We might have to do the caster mastery, which gives us mana every 5th time. That actually might fix it pretty nicely. I really don't want to do like something like mana on kill, if not just because it's not up 100% against bosses, so that's really when you will be consistently DPSing the most and where it will feel the worst. So we'll figure something out. Hey, maybe we'll shove a clarity into here, but I don't know, we'll see what happens. We'll get to that when we get to it. And yeah, increased crit, base crit. Luckily, base crit on Crackling Lance is 6, which is decent. But we are a Trickster that doesn't... Normally I play as Inquisitor, which gets like crit for free. I just have to get like some attributes, and like I'm like more than halfway there. We're going to need to invest in a number of ways to do crit strike. And that brings us to our Orb of Storms, which is going to be a vessel for a lot of utility in the build. Basically whatever we want, whatever we need. I don't know if I'm actually going to use a staff. You can probably craft a pretty insane lightning damage staff and it'll make it worth it. But I might just end up dual wielding wands through most of the campaign and stuff, and this will come later. So here's just an idea of what you could put into a 6th link, or just any links that you have for your Orb of Storms, because by itself, it's just something to help. Obviously we level with Storm, Blast Mine, and Orb of Storms, whatever, but getting power charges from it, it's up on bosses, up during maps, super nice. Probably not important until you're actually crit, but anyway. Hex Touch and Conductivity, or another, you can do a defensive one like Enfeeble or Temp Chains. Could be cool. I think the build is kind of wanting for more penetration and damage, though. Again, Trickster feels like a more defensive Ascendancy this go around. And then stuff like Onslaught and Ice Bite. Ice Bite to give Frenzies. Probably want to convert to Cold, although it can probably do it on its own, if you do it on like a white mob in maps or something. And then Onslaught can get up on bosses, which will feel fantastic. I feel like that's probably going to stick. I put it kind of low, like a low priority, but it ends up feeling really good if you can get away with it. Unless you have like good recovery on your Onslaught Flask or another way to get Onslaught, but a cool cheap way is definitely on the Orb of Storms. Cast when damage taken is nothing fancy. Wave of Conviction to reduce lightning res, and Steel Skin as our guard skill. We are not going for much armor. We can't fit like everything we need in now. They hit mana reservation a little bit. So I think we'll have enough for these 4. Maybe a clarity if we need it. Normally I'd run this with like vitality as well when I'm like Inquisitor, but like I don't know, it's not that appealing to me, especially if I don't know. Not crazy about any of this, to be honest. We're going to see how it feels. I don't usually run Grace. I usually prefer Determination over Grace. I don't really play evasion builds that much. So this is, kind of just me really trying it out. But yeah, Wrath and Herald of Thunder damage. I think we're going to need to lean into damage on the auras, especially if we don't get good gear drops. And then I'm going to try Lightning Warp as the move skill, because it's on brand, because I'm a loser who likes lore or some shit. I don't know. I usually use Frostblink. I kind of love that, but it's a little better for mapping, so maybe I will actually end up using it. especially if I can't convert to cold, because then that gives me a way to chill and or freeze stuff. And then you can put like an ice bite on the frost blink, and then your arcane surge there. I don't know. That's another spot for more utility on hit frostblink. Whereas lightning warp, you have to commit a bunch of gems to even make it like feel good, but could feel pretty cool. And yeah, I think we might have some space for some other stuff. I'm going to play around with new lightning skills a bit here and there, but I think CL and Orb of Storm is going to be very hard to beat as a combo. So I'm not really sure. Let me know if you have any ideas of like cool weird tech I'm overlooking. I don't really think we can get away with any like huge gimmicks nowadays, but you know, I'm just gonna do a pretty classic spell build, and I think we're gonna be okay with that. So for items, I don't usually like lab out a POV or really go too deep into one. I just use these as like a skill tree reference and like maybe a reference for skills too. But I mean, we have some new gems that maybe I'll play with and see. But I do know two unique items that I am going to be working towards are Nadir mode, which should not be anywhere near expensive. It drops from like the most common heist unique or whatever. So yeah, it makes it so we have 30% crit per intensity. That'll be 120 when it's at its max. And just a spell damage roll too. Normally, I would say that last one, losing one intensity every half a second seems pretty bad, but we're going to have enough cast speed to probably keep ping-ponging between 3 and 4, which is totally doable, especially because if we're critting, you know, crit we're going to have to work towards on this build. You know, I used Apex mode when I was Inquisitor and didn't have that much cast speed. That's the other one. Maybe I should just show you right here. Shouts to all my Apex legends out there. Apex mode reduces crit per intensity, but it helps you gain intensity faster. So it was kind of cool there, but it also felt kind of weird. So again, I just want to try this one out instead. I think this is the way to get away with it, with more focus on cast speed. And then yeah, if you want to see some rare items in a league start type scenario, I think I am gonna do a stream of as far as I can get leveling in like 4 or 5 hours, because I actually do have work on the first day of the league and then the day after, so I can't totally no life it until Saturday. But yeah, no, you can watch that. I'll probably upload it. I don't know. It's gonna be a couple hours long of a stream, and my streams usually go up and down, but the recording doesn't. So maybe I will upload it, and then we'll have some example of gear progression and things like that. Leveling links, but my leveling is usually real sloppy and like slightly slower. So maybe don't follow me. Follow someone who knows what they're doing. You know, don't play this. Play Lightning Conduit or some shit. You know. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to everybody else who's telling you that Thunder Fist is a good item, because then it will make it more expensive. I can't get one. 100% increased effect of lightning elements? Oh, you mean Shock? Shock, the one that makes me do more damages? Seems kind of amazing. Attack speed's kind of dead on us, though. So maybe we can use Shield Charge as your move skill? Maybe we'll use both Lightning Warp and Shield Charge? But yeah, socketed gems supported by level 30 added lightning damage. You could level 4-link that early, put your Crackling Lance in it. You could put your Orb of Storms in it. If you have a 6-link chest, 5 or 6-link chest, to have 2 5-links. Yeah, Thunder Fist. I was also thinking about Time Clasp, but I think it's too cute. I like Recoup, especially for life and mana, but unaffected by temporal chains. We're kind of already that because of the super speedy node that I forgot about, and I kind of like cast speed. I think we're gonna need some flat life though. This tree, the more I look at it, is super soft core. I mean, this is kind of pathetic. I don't really know how good this sort of hybrid build is gonna be, how good the Trickster is gonna be, and that's why I'm so excited to play a bunch of the new leagues. So yeah, let me know what your plans are if you have any thoughts. I guess I'll try and upload that vid of the. I don't know. The vid might come later, so you might have to have it as a reference. But I'll do an update vid probably at the end of the first weekend and stuff like that, because it's all happening. It's coming soon, sooner than later. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you're up to, what your plans are for the league, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.